Welcome back to Project 613. Yesterday we started learning about the sabbatical year, the Shemitah year, which the basic idea is that on the 7th year of the agricultural cycle, we allow our fields to rest, we do not work the land. And we learned that even wild growing crops, known in the Torah as sefichim, may not be harvested in their regular manner. Today's first mitzvah, we're going to have 5 mitzvot today. The first mitzvah that we will learn today is that a similar idea applies to wild growing grapes, the grapes that grow on their own, or really any other fruits that grow on their own, just like when it comes to the crops of the field that grow wildly. They may not be harvested in the regular way. So too when it comes to grapes or other fruits, although they may be eaten, they may be taken, a person may walk down his orchard and help himself to a few fruits. Nevertheless, he is not allowed to harvest them in the regular way, in the normal fashion. We know this from the verse that says, "Vet in vein izirecha lo tivtzor." The idea behind this mitzvah, as well as the last one we learned yesterday, is really to display that the crops and the fruit are all ownerless. And this really leads us to the second mitzvah we will learn today, which is that in the 7th year, now that we know we are not working the field, what should happen with the field? The answer is we have to allow it to be ownerless. We have to declare it ownerless. Anyone is allowed to take any of the crops or any of the fruit. We have to leave our fields open so anyone can help themselves. The next 3 mitzvot have to do with another element of Shemitah, of the sabbatical year, and that has to do with the cancellation of debts. So the Torah tells us that any money which is owed, any loans are cancelled by the Shemitah year. If the loan is not paid back before the Shemitah year, when the sabbatical year comes, the loan is automatically cancelled. And it is a mitzvah for a lender to release all debts during the sabbatical year. The verse says, anything that is owed to you by your brother, you should let loose, you should allow it to go. Any loans that were made previously before the sabbatical year are automatically cancelled. We then have a prohibition prohibiting the lender from demanding payment of all debts following a Shemitah year, because as we just learned, all of those debts were cancelled. So the next mitzvah we have is the prohibition to try and demand payment. The verse says, Lo yigos et re'ehu, do not demand the money back from your brother. Now, biblically, this mitzvah applies only at a time when the Jubilee year is in effect. We're going to learn more about the Jubilee year tomorrow. And since these days the Jubilee year is not in effect, then biblically this mitzvah is no longer applicable. However, rabbinically, this mitzvah is still in effect, and it applies in the same way in today's day and age. The last mitzvah that we have today is, following from this, what happens if a lender is going to say to himself, hey, it's coming the 7th year, it's coming the sabbatical year. If I lend money now, who knows if I'll ever get it back, because the borrower may not pay back, and then the sabbatical year is going to come and cancel the loan. Perhaps I should not lend money to the poor. Comes the Torah and says that's a prohibition, that's a violation. If a person withholds from giving a loan as the sabbatical year approaches, this is forbidden, and this is a violation of the mitzvah that we are learning now. A person should not do that. Now, practically speaking, even though it's forbidden for a person to withhold giving a loan in fear that he may not be paid back, the fact of the matter is that many wealthy people were violating this mitzvah because they were afraid that they would not get back their money. And at the same time, the poor people were losing. The honest poor people were losing because they were not able to take out loans, because no one was going to lend them. So the great sage Hillel found a way to circumvent this law by enacting something called pruzbul. And pruzbul basically is a declaration where a person transfers all of their loans to the Bet Din, to the Jewish courts. And this way, once the loan belongs to the Bet Din, it could then be collected during the Shemitah year, because it's only private loans that are cancelled during the sabbatical year, but public loans, communal loans, the loans of the Bet Din are never cancelled, and therefore they could also be collected even during the Shemitah year. This is achieved through making the pruzbul declaration at the beginning of the Shemitah year. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.